might say that's a criticism. When people go back and say, how much are we making from ESPN and we need to create our own channel? Guess what? You working for that channel that people said 3 or 4 years ago, which is a good idea. So yeah. I guess what I was just wondering, because when I heard it, and I guess because you're so influential, that's what caught my eye. Because when you said FAMU, and I'm like, hold on, we've been here 5 years, we ain't said number one thing about a guy, and you said there's 2 schools. I see, to me, that's some shade. I want you to clear it up. I want you to come on this show.
Ain't nothing to clear up. I said what I said, and I stand on it.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure. Well, let me just let you know, because I know y'all go past that Mississippi River. Y'all don't do anything east. One discussion don't make us not like the commissioner.
I didn't say y'all didn't like it. I said,
well, no, you said the 2 schools and the one guy that left to be named. That's what you said. So I just want to put that out there. So just be clear, because because you know why this is important, and it's all fun and games. But when I saw that, we've been here 5 years. We ain't said nothing about the commissioner other than, which again, people have their right to say he suspended Joe Bullock for 2 games. We got people that have fights got suspended for 1 game. So that's what people were saying, especially during the time. So I just wanted you to clear it up. I gave you your.
I'll just say this: there's a guy who he's no longer with us, that he had some strong critiques of the commissioner as well, and he was a FAMU guy.
I just went. He just went. What it was funny when he put and Paul Bethune there, don't say nothing about nobody, and then he throw Bethune-Cookman in there. Come on, Flood. Come on, man. So Flood, all right. Let me get you one thing, because we did not address this, and because I know you got to go. Rocky talked about the profile of the coach, but here's the confusion, and I want you to answer this, because the whole thing when Terrence Graves got the job. Now your AD said this. Well, we don't have the money. That was one of his quotes about why he hired Terrence Graves. So is it about the money? Is it about the politics? Because I heard you guys got the same thing, like in Florida. You got a board, and they are very involved when hiring and things like that. What is going to be the ultimate decision? Who's going to be the ultimate decision maker? Is it going to be money? Is it going to be the AD, or is it going to be the board? Well,
money wasn't so much a factor in the Graves hire. I don't know about the AD's quote on money, because what actually happened with Graves, the 3 guys who they actually offered it to got better offers. One chose to stay where he was, and Graves was the guy who was left. He kind of put him off to the side just in case. So they knew that they could get Graves for a cheaper price. Because, I mean, even with the money, Graves is still making $250,000 a year as the head coach. So, I don't know how much money played a part in it, but I don't think money is going to be an issue in this case. I don't think hiring a new head coach, and in terms of the politics of it, I mean, hell, you could look at what just happened on the national scene with LSU and let you know the kind of politics we're working with in Louisiana.
Well, that's what I'm familiar. Wait, Coach. One more thing, because I'm gonna have to play. This is more of a tease. I sent this to Coach and them, and I want to get your opinion about that. Flood, you're not from New Orleans, are you? Are you from New Orleans?
No, I live in New Orleans, but
okay, you live in okay. Well, your state homeboy, Cordell Stewart, has come out publicly saying that he wants to be a coach. Now we all know Cordell is from the New Orleans metro area. Do you think that would be a job that people, if Cordell said out publicly that he wanted to coach at Southern, that people at Southern would be excited about that?
They'd ask, who the hell is Cordell Stewart? that would be the first question. I mean, I've met him once, twice. Dude, he's never been somebody that really moved around in our community like that. So that would be the first thing. I mean, he would have to familiarize himself with the fan base, and the fan base would have to familiarize themselves with him for that to even be a remote possibility. But I don't know. I don't know. That will be my opinion of it.
Okay. Well, the other name is Marshall Falk. Has been that for the last 5 years. But Coach, I know some folks real personal down there at Southern University. I never heard of Braves making $250, and my understanding is they got problems paying the coaches. They got problems with recruiting money. Are you saying that's not true at all?
Man, Graves was made. That's public knowledge that Graves is making $250. Like we're a state institution. Like the contracts are public knowledge. He's making $250 a year. That's not even a debate. But
and they were still paying Dooley his $3.
Yeah, they paid Dooley off
$500,000 to 2 guys.
Yeah, they paid Dooley off in installments. You know, and a lot of times, Coach, let me tell you something. You've been around here, man. A lot of times people just talk to be talking, you know. I actually, believe it or not, I actually go do some research before I get out here and talk.
Right.
So, but yeah, they pay Coach Dooley off in installments. And if I'm not mistaken, from what I was told from some members of the board administration, that his installments have been paid off. Coach Graves is making $250 a year. I think Southern has come to the realization.
Well, what was the coordinators making, Coach?
Well, see, that's what I was about to get to. The coordinators were right around 90 and 95, if I remember correctly, looking at the list. They were making about 90 and 95. I think that Southern has come to the realization that not only we're going to have to pay a head coach, but your coaching, your assistance pool is going to have to, you're going to have to start paying your coordinators around 120, 125 for offensive and defensive coordinators. And then kind of, you know, your grad assistants, or I think they're limited earnings, but, you know, your lowest coaches on the totem pole are probably going to be the ones coming in around between 62 and 65.
Yeah, you know, they oust the limited coaching, paying coaching. They oust that. But I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Now, Flood, before I get you out of here, man, has pocket watching always been part of HBCU football?
Oh, yeah, man.
That's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, SEC, they've been pocket watching Brian Kelly. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, man. That's why the coaches' salaries are always a topic.
But this is what I'm saying is no one knows what the AD makes at LSU. No one knows what the AD makes at Ole Miss. You know what I mean? Like
the people,
the white people do. The white people that do know, trust me.
Yeah, they know.
They do know.
That's just not a concern for a lot of people outside. They know what they were making. They know that Scott Woodward, who just got fired from LSU, his buyout was $6.5 million.
Okay.
And he was making about, I think it was between 1.3 and 2 million a year with bonuses. Yeah, they know what it is.
I'm telling you now, it's some coaches, man, that make 30, 40, and 50,000. They providing housing for them. They can eat on campus. It's
no doubt. There are coaches who are like that, and especially on the D2 level. But no Division I school should be doing that anymore.
Hey, Flood, I want to thank you for coming on, man.
Man, I appreciate it.
And I'm going to invite you on my podcast so we can discuss all the problems that's happening over at FAMU, because this is not the forum we want to discuss.
You're not going to have the FAMU people after me, man.
well, Flood, it's too late now. It's too late, so it's too late, but it's okay. You're a good guy, and I'm going to tell them just to get up off of you. I did their work for them.
Look, it is what it is. People been after me since I turned on the microphone, so it ain't no. when they stop being after me, then that means something is wrong.
Hey, so before we get out of here, Flood, please tell the people where they can find you, where they can get your content is, and where they should follow you on Facebook and Twitter.
They can find me on Facebook under Reggie Flood or the Big Time Sports Show. You can find me on YouTube. We're on YouTube as Inside the Game with Coach Mel and Uncle Flood. We come on every Monday from 6 to 7. You can catch me on the social medias on Instagram as Reg Flood, and as I'm not on X as much because I try to stay away from there, but it's Reggie Flood on X. And like I said, Facebook, YouTube, all the places, man. Come and follow me. Check out the content. You can hear me on SWAC TV doing football games and talking a little bit. So, and just to give you a heads up, probably in 2026, I'll be back on the radio doing some of that too. So,
all right, man. Hey, well, thank you again, Flood, man. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all do a great show, do a great job, man. And y'all keep doing what y'all doing. And the numbers are going to keep running up, man. I really appreciate coming on with y'all.
Yeah, if you want Southern to win, man, LC Cole, man. LC Cole.
I got you, Coach.
If you want to win, Coach, you get LC Cole.
I got you. Y'all be good, man. Hold it down. Steve,
Thank you,
Rock,
man.
Coach. Y'all be good. Appreciate y'all.
All right, hey, man, and that was Reggie Flood, the Southern Insider, giving us all the information, anything you want to know about Southern. And let me ask you this before we go on to review the games of last week and pick a games for next week. What did you think about his coaching profile for the next head coach? What he thinks Southern should do?
If they got that kind of money, Coach, that's what the big boys do. They go after the winning coaches wherever they are and see if they can make a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. I mean, Alabama went and took. How many times have Alabama took Washington's coach? How many times has LSU took Notre Dame or somebody's coach? That's what you should do, or go get some winning coordinator. Sarkisian in Texas was what? Alabama's coordinator. Kiffin, he was Alabama's coordinator. That's what you should do.
What do you think about it, Campbell?
Well, here's my thing, and again, I'm not being shady to Southern, but we know the names, and they ain't coming. Trey Oliver's not coming to Southern. Chinsbury's not coming to Southern. Tremaine Jackson's not coming to Southern. T.C. Taylor's not coming to Southern. So again, I've already taken those guys off the table. Deshaun Jackson, he ain't coming to Southern. He's not. That man's got it good.
He doesn't fit the profile. He doesn't fit the profile.
Well, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. So even the people that fit the profile, they're few and far between. So my thing is, wow, that sounds good. That ain't realistic. And I keep going back to people. What is realistic of who can go coach that team? That's my question, because that's what the Southern people need to know. Who is realistic? So, A, they can either get behind it or say, hold on, that's not kind of what we want. Because what you don't want to have, I won't mention our school, was Southern was not happy with the Terrence Grave hire. I got a bunch of family down there that went to Southern. I know a bunch of Southern money people. They weren't happy with that hire. And it turned out the way it was going to turn out. So you got to know what's going to get the fan base. And I'm going to say this again, and he doesn't fit the profile, but that little young cat up there with Deshaun Jackson, this is what I'm talking about. You know, we talking about Hail Marys and things like that. See, to me, that's a Hail Mary, but that's a catch. That young brother played at Bowie. He played quarterback. He's innovative already on offense. He showed that he can interview correctly for Deshaun Jackson, who never met him, to hire him. And if that young brother got down there with them thoroughbreds in Louisiana and go knock on them doors, their mothers are going to love him and their fathers are going to love him. And he'd get a whole bunch of horses down there in Southern. That's just me.
Hey, the guy asked this question. Hey, man, I tell you what, if y'all want the phone lines if y'all want the phone lines on, hit ones. Y'all hit ones. I got to know. I don't want to waste my time and go through the trouble of turning the phone lines on. Hit one if you want the phone lines on. Hey, but I want to thank everybody at this time for watching this on the Off Script channel. I want to say to y'all, man, I certainly appreciate it, man. And I appreciate Scotty for giving us the opportunity to broadcast on his channel. But right now, as we always do, we're going to suspend the broadcast on the Off Script channel, and you can catch HBCU Coaches Corner on its home, the Rocky Miller channel. Much love.
Boy, and, Rocky, yeah, you got to drop the stream, bro.
Oh, yeah, I need to hit the link, don't I?
Yeah, slow down before you cut everybody out. Let's just get in there. But no, so my thing is, and while you're getting that stream together, this is the thing that's my concern about that Southern, because like I said, I've never said this as a secret. That Southern job is a great job. Coach, they got all the things you need to be a championship team. It's Southern University. That name means something. That name means a lot to their former players. It means something to their alumni. It means something nationally. They got a national game that everybody watches Thanksgiving weekend, so they can always show who and what they are. They got a beautiful band. They got beautiful women. That dance in front of that band, they got a lot of things that make it look good to go down there and play at Southern.
Shout out to the Dancing Dolls.
Shout out to the Dancing Dolls, 100%.
The new ones and the old ones.
Huh? No,
the new ones and the old ones.
And they both look
they let the old ones probably wouldn't be a good. What would be the former?
The veteran, right? The former, right?
The former Dancing Dolls, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go off and get this phone line working. Y'all go ahead and carry.
So, Coach, with that being said, what do you think about my opinion about who I think the profile should be for Southern's coach? What is your opinion?
Well, I've worked there before, and I just think that you got to be ready to go. I think you should have some. I think it's not a job to come and learn on. Because it's one of the biggest jobs that we have in HBCU and FCS. I mean, you're averaging, close to 17,000 fans every year. That's more than most Division I schools. You got to come in there and you got to be ready to go. And the biggest thing is you got to be able to hire good staff around you. But here's the other thing, Coach, it's more than just the X's and O's. You got to be a manager of money, knowing how to handle your scholarships, knowing how to handle the money that you got to pay your coaches, being able to, afford to be able to recruit and how to recruit. So, it's more than just the X's and O's of that. A head coach is a manager. He handles the board. He handles, the president. He handles the financial aid department, the housing department. You got to know some about that. To know some about that, to be able to stretch it and to bring up new ideas that maybe they haven't even experienced, because most of the people has been in these places for a long time. And as you know, people don't like changes, but you got to have the right persona, of dealing with today's kid. You got to have the right system of dealing with today's kids. So it's bigger than the X and O's. You might be a great coordinator somewhere, but being a great coach is totally different. And I think that just like I think at Florida A&M, that if you go back and look at the coaches that has been successful in the SWAC, they didn't come in learning how to be a coach. They came in already being a head coach. And if you go back 25 years, we can sit and count them, that they've won championships where they were, and they was able to come into this conference and win championships.
Now, Coach, we got a question, and I want to bring this up because you weren't on last week, but a lot of people have been talking about it. And one of the topics that we had was about the kid Lockhart, the freshman quarterback. Have you got a chance? Did you get a chance to watch him against FAMU? And did you get a chance? Have you had a chance to see any of him? Have you had a chance to see him play? The freshman,
the Lockhart kid.
Yeah,
I hadn't had a chance to see him. I definitely have to take a look at him.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you had a young quarterback like that already had a well-built, well-coached championship team around, what do you think TC Taylor is going to do with that young man as they go all the way through to try to finish it out, get to SWAC championship?
You're saying the kid at Jackson State. Yeah. I was at the Vegas game.
Okay.
And I seen him there. This is what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't put the whole game plan on top of him. I would try to do what he does best. I think Jackson State got a great run game. And if you coming out of that game and you got 70 plays, you got 35 runs and 35 passes, I don't think that's the right way to do with that kid. Or are we talking more about bringing him off of his red shirt and playing him?
Well, they ain't got no choice now. He's going to play. So that red shirt is out the window. He's going to play the rest of the games.
No, and if you're gonna play him, he got to get his feet wet right now, because he is the quarterback of the future. But the thing about it is you got to be disciplined with him and calling those plays, and not sitting there and putting the whole playbook on him, and think that he's gonna be successful. I don't think you could do that when it gets close to nail biting time, when you need these games to go to the SWAC championship as well as the championship game in Atlanta.
Now, Stutter New said current coach Eddie Robinson was not a coach before getting the job. I want to agree with that. And, Coach, you can definitely speak more to this. But we all agree Eddie Robinson is one of the smartest football players that's ever played in the SWAC, literally. He was an academic All-American, and he was always known as a coach on the field. And he also commentated and watched the game. So I
asked him one question. Have he won a championship?
Has Eddie won a championship?
Yeah.
No.
Has he won one? No.
But let me ask you what, do you think he's a good – okay, well, then do you think he's doing a good job at Alabama State, though?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, he hasn't won a championship.
Yeah. Let's go back. I mean, Doug Williams, championship guy. Elite comeback championship. Melvin Spears championship. Comegy championship at Tuskegee comes in championship. Pete Richardson championship at Winston-Salem comes in. Rob Broadway comes championship at North Carolina Central. Most of the guys have either they've had a whole bunch of coaching experience or they went in, but majority of them were championship coaches when they came into the conference.
Rocky, you got the call line up?
Yeah, the call line is open. Nobody's called in, so we can go ahead and start reviewing these. Let's go to the MEAC first. Let's go to the MEAC. I think MEAC is always quick work. All right, guys. This is week 11 in the MEAC. We saw this game on Thursday. Delaware State, after narrowly beating Norfolk State, they follow up by really almost losing to Morgan State. If it was not for a last-second kick being missed by Morgan State, Delaware State would have gotten their first conference loss. But almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Coach. So ultimately they won the game. I got a chance to see this. And I thought Morgan State played a hell of a game stopping the run, but it did show that Delaware is awfully one-dimensional. And when that one dimension isn't working, they can't really get much on offense going.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody is finding out, just like Delilah gave up the secret to Samson's strength. It was his hair. And, it's going to be a tough matchup with them. They got Howard this week. And then, of course, they got South Carolina State. And the key to stopping them is just stopping the run game and stack the box. Evidently, their receivers is not as good as that people think or say they are. But great coaching job. I think Morgan State screwed up the last series. They throw the ball 3 times in a row. They don't put the ball in the middle of the field where the kicker have opportunity to kick it through the goal. Evidently, they didn't communicate with the kicker. Unfortunately, you can't make those mistakes as a coach. And, that you lose a game. You lose a game on not being able to communicate and making the right calls at the end of the game. Throwing that football when you should have been running it and keeping that ball in the middle of the field.
All right, this next one is ain't much to talk about. Howard traveled down to South Carolina State and got mollywopped. This was not a game from the first quarter on. It was a blowout. I don't think I learned anything about South Carolina State in this game. They are who we thought they were, and Howard is who they thought they were. But to the guy who lost to Howard, ultimately, what do you think about this game, Campbell?
I mean, South Carolina State did what they were supposed to do. And you expected they're setting themselves up for the showdown. South Carolina State got 2 of the biggest games for the rest of the year in the MEAC. They go to North Carolina Central this week, and then they go for Delaware State to set up potentially for the MEAC championship. So I don't think Howard has shown no resistance, and Howard is who we thought they were. FAMU really let them off the hook. Howard's not a good team. So like I say, again, what I'm curious about is how are they going to make a coaching change? Because now there's starting to be some rumbling about Larry Scott not being there.
Okay. Hey, this next game was really surprising to me. I have to give a shout out to Scotty and Zoe. They thought this game would be competitive. I wasn't sure about that, and it went down to the wire. After getting spanked by South Carolina State, Norfolk has showed up 2 weeks in a row and really played tough games against some of their better competition in the SWAC. What do you think about that? Is Norfolk getting better, Coach Cole, or what's happening? They take a tough loss to South Carolina State, and then they travel down to Delaware State and give Deshaun Jackson all he could ask for, and then they go to Durham and almost pull off the upset.
I think that, they're making some great adjustments. Nobody's never complained about the athletes that they have, but it was just the style they were playing. As you can see, they kind of have cleaned up a little bit, and maybe next year when they get a new start. But once again, Michael Vick is just learning on the job. He's not. I'm not gonna say he's not what everybody thinks he is, but they averaging fans, they're being seen. I guess that's what they wanted. But like I told you guys, at the end of the day, it's about winning football games, whether it's 28-31 or you win by one. You're gonna have to win. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. That game right there, Norfolk and North Carolina Central, is always a barn burner. Unfortunately, they fell short. You're talking about two teams that's real close to each other in proximity. So hat off to my man Trey Oliver. He played another nail biter. He's going to have to relook at what's going on in his staff. And, he lost a lot of players as well as a lot of coaches as well. A lot of people took his coaches off his staff. So maybe that's some of it, that he's playing these teams close or these teams playing him close.
Let's look at this one, Coach. This is next week in the MEAC. And this game is on Friday. Most people before the season started would have said this is the de facto MEAC championship game, but that's not the case because of a upstart Delaware State team. But Campbell, Coach, how do you think this game will pan out, and what do you think the outcome will be for the winner, and what do you think the outcome will be for the loser?
So here's the thing. When you said, to me, it still can be. And what's crazy, Central controls their own destiny with a little bit of help from South Carolina State. You win this game, South Carolina State wins, beats Delaware State. And from what I've seen, shout out to Wild Wayne, it looks like the tiebreaker would go to North Carolina Central, and they will be MEAC champ. So this game they can't sit back and say, oh, we're out of it. They are 100% in it. This is a really big game. And, again, payback is a mother, because you got to understand, on Halloween night, last year, a lot of people watching. You had Josh and those guys saying, oh, we're going back and we're going to meet Jackson State and we're going to do them. And guess what? Chennisberry has something to say about that and shut them up on a Thursday night. Now you got a Friday night game that's a standalone game, another standalone game, an early game, which of me at 5:30, I think that is really weird that this game starts at 5:30 Eastern. I didn't understand that at all. But with that being said, you still got a Friday game, a standalone game, and I think everybody knows what they're playing for. But I will say this about South Carolina State. I believe that they're going to really understand, because they want to get to that last game. I think they want to shut that Deshaun Jackson talk down. So that's the reason why I give them a little bit of the edge. But, Rocky, your boy, Walker Harris, who probably will be MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, depending on what happens with Mosley, if he plays or not, had another great game. 3 touchdowns, 265 yards passing. So you talked about what he could and could not do. I'll tell you what he can do. He's been making plays and keeping that team steady and winning.
Yeah. I know me. I got to take South Carolina State in this situation. They proved to be able to do it last year. They've been winning convincingly in the MEACs thus far. And so I got to take South Carolina State. What about you, Coach?
Great game, man. This is what college football is all about. You got two great teams, great coaches. I had the pleasure of talking to them, about the situation. And if North Carolina Central wins, South Carolina State goes play Delaware State and wins. When you talk about tiebreakers, you talk about the first thing is who's won head to head. Then you go and look at opponents. In this case, each one of them will look. So if North Carolina State wins and then South Carolina State beat Delaware State, you got three schools that are looking at each other like, well, pointing the finger, I beat you, you beat me up. So then it comes down to opponents, which they all beat each other. Then it comes down to points. How many I beat you by, how many you beat me by. Or the commissioner can step in and say, look, since North Carolina State and South Carolina State is being, we gonna go with Delaware State. That could play a role in it as well. So it's interesting. Man, I'm gonna have to go with South Carolina State again because of with Rocky. I think North Carolina Central has a whole that their run game. It's tough on them stopping the run game. So I'm gonna go with South Carolina State because I know they run the ball very well.
Hey, Rocky, do we have enough time and to really show what the tiebreaker is real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So shout out, again, giving all credit to Wild Wayne Cartwright. Does a great Sunday breakdown. So Wayne broke it down. So I'm getting ready to play what Wayne had. And Coach, this is what the breakdown is. So let's do that right here. Oops.
Let me take mine down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And let's see. Let's move that back a little bit. All right. So we're going to, I'm trying to get set up. All right. We're going to start it right here. There we go. Shout out to my nephew, Wild Wayne Cartwright, for this. So not stealing, just used it for informational purposes. Oh, hold on. Whoops.
Both teams, you're talking about South Carolina State and Delaware State. Both teams are 3-0. Okay. Delaware State, they host Howard, and South Carolina State, they hit the road Friday to take on North Carolina Central. If both teams win their games this week, very simple. They play each other in the final weekend all right. That's if both win. That's the easiest way that things can be settled in the MEAC. All right. Both win, winner take all next week. Then you'll know who the champion is. Okay. Both teams are still alive in the final week, regardless of this weekend's outcomes. All right. Now, for North Carolina Central, they're 2-1. As many people know, they lost to Delaware State. They must win on Friday to stay alive against South Carolina State. If they do not win this game on Friday, they are eliminated. All right. So they need to win to stay alive for what I will show you coming up next. Okay. This is what it is right now for each of the three teams. Okay. Delaware State, they can win the MEAC by beating Howard this week and South Carolina State to finish 5-0. That's the easy one. Or 2 South Carolina State losses. That would mean South Carolina State would have to lose its last 2. And that's how that Delaware State could win. For South Carolina State, easiest way, just win your last 2. North Carolina Central, you need 2 wins. You need to win this one on Friday. And then you also need to win your finale against Morgan State. And then you're going to also need Delaware State to lose to South Carolina State to set up a 3-way tie. And all 3 could end up being tied at 4-1 by defeating each other. Okay. Now, all of the tiebreakers that I have are coming up. Delaware State, they've already beaten North Carolina Central. And then this would mean that North Carolina Central would beat South Carolina State this Friday. And then South Carolina State would have to beat Delaware State in the finale. And that would set up a three-way tie at 4-1. So if all three ended up 4-1, here's what you got. Okay. All right. This is the MEAC tiebreaker policy. And this is what is very, very simple on how they have it. Okay. This is 6 points are awarded for a win against a FBS team. Okay. 4 points for a win against a, out of conference against an FCS team. 4 points are subtracted when you lose to, let's say, a D2, a D3, whatever. Okay. Team with the highest point total goes to the Celebration Bowl. If a tie exists, you see all that good stuff. Okay. Bottom line here is here's 1A. Neither of the three teams have beaten an FBS team. Okay. So that does not apply here. All right. 1B. 4 points awarded for non-conference wins. All right. North Carolina Central has defeated FAMU, Southern, East Texas A&M, and North Carolina A&T. That's 16 points. South Carolina State has beaten Wofford, Bethune-Cookman, and also North Carolina A&T. They would have 12 points. Delaware State, they beat Albany and St. Francis. 6 points. They don't get anything for that homecoming win against Southern Connecticut State, and they don't get anything for beating Bowie State. Okay. C is not applicable because neither one of them lost to a non-Division I opponent. And so if this was a three-way tie, North Carolina Central would go to the Celebration Bowl if they had a three-way.
There you go. There you go, Coach. So that's how it breaks down. So by the virtue, and this is why I'm saying, sometimes, as they say, lucky people are lucky just because they're lucky. They just happen, Central just happen to schedule FAMU at their worst and Southern at their worst and got 2 of those wins. And that is going to be literally why they might get to the Celebration Bowl, because they beat Southern and FAMU. How about that? Because they're going to get it by more points because they played those 4 games.
I wondered, he must have got that from the conference.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. So that's kind of funny when I saw that by happenstance, the year that they played FAMU, this is their down, Southern being down, which more like if they played them a couple of years before would have been a game. You never know what would have happened, but they caught us down, and those might be the reason why those 2 good wins for them against bad teams might propel them to the Celebration Bowl.
Well, like I say, what I like is Delaware State situation is pretty easy.
Well, look, that gives North Carolina Central some incentives, don't it?
Big. That's what I'm saying. Big. So that is the thing about it. And if I'm Central and I'm sitting there because Rocky Miller, and I hate to pass this forward, move it forward, but let's just say it plays out in Central's favor. They beat South Carolina State. Who do you take on South Carolina State and Delaware State their last game?
I'm still gonna say South Carolina State is the favorite.
Okay, exactly. I would probably say the same. What about you, Coach?
So if North Carolina Central loses one of the 2, then the winner of the South Carolina. No.
Central's thing is they have to win.
No, I get that. I'm saying if they beat South Carolina State and lose the next game, then the winner of the South Carolina State and Delaware State game will go.
Right, but
that's the only way
they're not losing their last game. They're not losing. Yeah. They're playing. Yeah, they're not losing.
Yeah, that's the only 2. So shit, right now it seems like North Carolina Central sitting in the driver's seat.
No, not at all.
What my question is, with that being said, South Carolina State plays Delaware. Who do you think more likely will win that game?
Oh, South Carolina State.
Okay, so now that brings to your point. Yeah, North Carolina Central.
Now here's the reality. And this may not. The game is simply for Delaware State. They have to win the last game against South Carolina. Like that's the if they win that game, they go no matter what happens against Howard.
Exactly, that's true.
If they beat
control their own destiny no matter what.
Yes.
Them and South Carolina State both control their own destinies.
Yes. And here's another situation. Say, because they play each other, but I'm simply saying that North Carolina Central someone has to beat Delaware State for North Carolina Central to get life. You know what I mean? Somebody has to beat Delaware State, and up to this point, no one has. Hey, we got a couple callers. Hey, callers, y'all hang on. I'm gonna get through pick these last two games, and then let y'all get in. All right. Morgan State and Norfolk here. This is the toilet bowl 2.0. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this one. I like Norfolk State in this one. It's at home. They've been playing well. Ooh, but Otto Kuntz is hurt. I got to take Morgan State. I'll take Morgan.
Well, Coach Wilson's a great defender, and he'll slow him down. And the only thing about it, boy, I tell you what, Morgan State stinks on offense, boy. Stinks. I know they got a young quarterback. Maybe just the one that Michael Vick can get. So I'll go with Michael Vick.
What you got, Campbell?
Otto Kuntz being out hurts, but I'm just going to go out on a limb, and I just think that Norfolk, what I've seen, they still have a lot of talent. They'll bring the other quarterback back, and like I say, Coach said, Morgan just can't score. So if Norfolk can get to 17, they win that game.
Yeah,
and it's been that way. It's been that way. I don't know why they can't score no points.
Yeah. All right, last one on the Norfolk side for next week is Howard and Delaware State kickoff. Delaware State should win this game going away. What do you guys think?
Yeah, without a problem. Howard is just down. They've been going down since they came out of the Celebration Bowl. I got Delaware State winning that one.
All right, here's the thing. So as you guys know, I watched both coaches' calls, and Deshaun Jackson said something that was very important. He said, I don't have anybody on this team that's ever won anything. Many guys on this team have not even won this amount of games in their career.
Are outdated.
So we have to show these guys how to win. So what I will say to this is that this is a very tough game for Delaware State. They've had two games that they barely escaped. So again, is it catching up to the guys? Can Deshaun Jackson keep them focused? I think this game is going to be really close. I think Delaware State is going to pull out. But I'm telling you, if Deshaun Jackson, they don't have guys on there that knows what the championship grind is. That's just a fact. So now he has got to coach this into these guys. And Coach, that's hard when you don't have guys that don't know how to win. That is a very hard thing to do. Which shout out to Deshaun Jackson. But I'm just saying, this is one of those games. I hope those guys are not saying, we're playing at home, we're automatically going to win, and we got South Carolina State next week, because that is a recipe for disaster, and they'll lose this game.
Absolutely. Who you got, Coach?
I got Delaware. You talking about the Delaware State?
Oh,
right?
You already picked. You said Delaware State.
Yeah.
All right, caller. With the last 4, 8572, you're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you're calling from?
What's going on, Rock? I'm from Michigan, man. I've been watching y'all guys for a while, man. I just like listening to the college football, especially from y'all perspective. I definitely like Coach Cole. Hey, Coach Cole, when you was at Cincinnati, who was the head coach?
Rick Minner.
Okay. So you was there at Rick Minner. So after that was when D'Antonio got there, or was that a little bit further down the line?
That was further down the line. I see Rick's son was a kid. Now he the defense coordinator at the Chargers. Is it the Chargers or the Steelers? One of them.
The Chargers.
No, he was the Chargers. He had Chargers. He was Jim. Jim did a good. I mean, I don't, like I said, I got a couple good buddies of mine who played at U of M. and they all told me he was gonna light the world up, man. When he got that job at Michigan, when the other guy went back to Baltimore to be the linebacker coach. Well, I got a question for you guys. I know I've been saying in the chat, Mr. Campbell don't believe it, but you don't think Southern will pay that money to bring Trey Oliver back to Southern? And the reason why I say is because what if North Carolina Central is starting to get stale and he got to go to a new place, just get himself revigorated? And the reason why I say that is because Coach Cole alluded to it. He lost quite a few coaches off the staff. He lost his chaplain. He lost some players. Do you think that Southern will have enough money to bring him down there?
Hey, how well do you know Trey's background? You know his.
Well, I know he was the defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator down there at Southern, though.
Yeah, I know him a little personal. You know, his mother and father finished from Central. He finished from Central. You know, he's homegrown. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Trey Oliver donates like $15,000 to $20,000 every year of his paycheck back to the school. I think he's ingrained in there. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to have to be more than just, $50,000 or extra $100,000 for him to uproot and leave all that when he got it all there. You know what I'm saying? He's got connect.
Hey, I'm just throwing something out there, Coach.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing something out there. The only reason why I say it is because I'm being honest with you, and Rock might agree with me on this one. They may pay the money. They may give him what he asking for it too.
Well, hey,
I'll
man,
just leave it at that.
You can't count nobody's money.
Well, here's my point. How much money would it take you to leave a place that you love? I don't think Southern has that much money.
What you think?
Hey, caller dropped off. Caller with the last 4 3676. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yes, sir. I come from Houston, Texas. Well, Missouri City, Texas. Zach Peters.
Hey, can you turn us down in the background because I hear myself?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk about I keep hearing the strength of schedule thing with PV and ASU and JSU. And are y'all actually analyzing both schedules? Because they played some of the same teams, and Grambling came over there and beat two of the top 3 teams on that side.
You might have called into the wrong show. Did you call it to the right show?
I don't know, but I know I've been hearing a lot of chatter about the strength of schedule, and I don't know if it's y'all or the other guys.
Guess what? What's your name again, brother?
Peters, Zach Peters.
Peters, I'm gonna tell you this here, Mr. Peters. You may be even kin to Cam Peters. I ain't gonna even say if you are or not, but you ain't got it. You ain't got it, man.
I am. That's my son.
All right. Hey, but here's what I'll say, sir. There won't be no votes. There won't be no. I won't have to send in a ballot. Won't none of that determine who win the SWAC. You know why? Cause y'all gonna line it up. Your son and his team gonna line it up against Jackson State, and they gonna decide which team is best. Who they played in September, who they played in October, ain't gonna even matter no more. Because what ultimately gonna determine is what they do on December the 6th, right? Am I correct?
So, question. So, why is there so much hate for PV out there?
Mr. Peter, hold on, wait a minute. Let me reverse that because, and again, I'm a big fan of what Prairie View is doing, and congratulations to your son. You've raised a fine young man. Saw him in the interviews. Clearly, doing great by him.
I see you didn't call when he threw them 4 interceptions, though. I'm just gonna go and mention that.
No, hey, we are very accountable for that. We don't run from nothing.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
But you know what? If you read his Twitter account, he said, "Hey, that's on me, PV Nation. We're gonna be better." And he came back and stood on, and he's revived the next week. Now what?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question though. Why, and I understand this, and I see a lot of the chatter. We got a lot of great people, but why do y'all even care what the Jack State people are even saying? Why do you care?
Well, the thing about it is let's just keep it real. Is like I said, Grambling came over there and beat two of y'all top 3 teams. The teams that ASU played, I mean, they have one more win than the teams Prairie View played. So all this strength of schedule stuff and all this, it ain't making no sense. It ain't. Rice beat. Okay, we played Rice. Rice beat UAB. ASU beat UAB. I mean, they lost to UAB.
So
well,
you
said understand all the PV.
Just respect it. That's what I'm trying to say. What is the foundation of your angst? Do you feel that people are not respecting PV? Is that what it is?
I think that's exactly what it is.
So here's what I'll say.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
So, Mr. Peters, do you know the history of the university before your son signed?
Everybody in my family played. They attended PV. My mother, my dad, except for me, I went to Oklahoma.
So why
it's a legacy. My sister, my niece, about 10 people in my family graduated from Prairie View. Now what?
Well, you were Texan then.
Yeah, so I know the history. I know the history.
So here's what
the history.
Here's what I would say, bro. At the end of the day, Prairie View gonna have to change the narrative by beating somebody's ass.
Oh, definitely.
That's the only way the narrative. Coach Cole, I'm gonna let you get in here. Can PV change the narrative? Can they convince somebody by talking to them?
Well, no. I mean, they've been to the championship. What out of the last couple of years?
Maybe this is their third try.
Yeah, third time at it, and definitely they'll be in it this year. And I think they're coming with a different look, but. Unfortunately, you can only play and beat the people who's on your schedule. And unfortunately for people, they've lost to the people they supposed to lose to and beat the people they supposed to. So, I get Rocky's point, Mr. But Mr. Peters, can I tell your son something? Tell him, don't stop throwing them balls up there and expect somebody to make a play. He's supposed to make a play of throwing that ball out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Oh, hey, me and him have constant talks about making a bad play worse.
Yeah, tell him he the quarterback, make him win. Throwing the ball away is not a bad play, but throwing it up for grabs and hoping somebody make a play, that definitely is on him. And I understand that he takes, but he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But what'll make him great is that he don't make those mistakes.
Taking care of the football, coach.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
yes.
Miss
Peters,
Miss Peters, if you're a PV fan and you know the history, first off, you can't have no football conversation with anybody without talking about 0-88. Like, they gonna bring that up straight off the muscle, even though it's no longer relevant.
Exactly.
Cam wasn't even born. You know what I mean? He ain't got nothing to do with that. Again, but they're going to bring it up. Then there's a situation where they've been to SWAC championships 3 out of the last 5 years. This will be 3 of the last 5 years. The previous 2 years, they had what I would consider poor showings or no showings. You understand? So, in order to change the narrative, they're going to have to just whoop somebody's ass, man. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm just talking about the hate that's out there. I mean, how many teams have not? No. Just because you're talking loud, it don't mean you're right. How many teams haven't got there?
Well, but Mr. Peters, the thing of it is that it's your coach, it's your head coach, and he's selling his program. And when you sell your program, you put yourself out there. But he's backing it up with the wins. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the West Side is so down right now that he's running through the West Side and it's his first year. But the problem is,
how are they down? Oh, I hate to interrupt you, but how are they down? And Grambling came over there and beat the top two teams.
But you just talking about one.
And I will tell you this: if we play Grambling 9 times this year, we beat Grambling 9 times.
Who are the top 2 teams you're speaking of, sir?
Jackson State,
JSU, and ASU. Well, I'm sorry, two of the top 3, BC and JSU. They didn't play ASU.
But you can't count BCU now. You can't count Bethune-Cookman.
They're
They just
They're on the schedule. They the top 3 over there. They're in the top 3. How come you can't count them?
But then when you look at the East, they come over and beat everybody on the West. Everybody. Come on now.
Who? Grambling came over there and beat JSU and Bethune-Cookman. Number 1 and number 3 in the conference. Am I right or wrong?
Did they beat
yes or no?
You're talking about
it's just a yes or no answer.
What you talking
It's
about?
just a yes or no answer.
Mr. Peters, you do
it's just a yes or no answer.
I want to speak facts here, Mr. Peters. You do know
Mm-hmm.
the second place team in the East right now, Mollywop, is both. Well, I ain't gonna say Mollywop. They beat both the leader and they beat Southern in good fashion, and they did it with their backup quarterback playing the second half. So you do know that.
He threw 5 interceptions and lost by 3 points. Stop it. And he fumbled the ball going into the end zone. He didn't put himself out the game. He put him out the game.
It don't happen. It don't matter what happens in the game. It's either you winning or you losing. And if
Exactly.
you look at the records in the
I'm saying it was a blowout.
Mr. Peters, look at the records. Look at the facts. If you look at the West records over on the West side, they are the worst. If you put all those teams together in 12, you'll have at least 4 or 5 of the West teams in the bottom. Right or wrong?
Are you talking about this year or last year? Or year before last?
5 years.
Let's talk about this year. Current events.
Hey, Mr. Peters, you sound like a football guy, right?
I am.
How many teams on the West are good teams?
Thank you.
Yeah. Grambling and PV, and on the other side is JSU and ASU.
It's Florida.
But what I'm saying is, you say 4 out of the 6 teams are bad teams. Essentially, is what you're saying, right? What I'm saying is
on both sides, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about just this year. It's been that. I'm
talking this year.
No. But yeah, I'm talking about historically, it's been that way for the East, though. For the West, it's been that way for the West. It's been that way, and you can't. When we're having these conversations, we can't remove history out of the conversation, because if we make it about this year, then of course Prairie View have an amazing year. But when you talk,
but you know what though? Can I say something? I bet you one of the same ones that say something about Cowboy fans if they mention Super Bowls from the 90s.
No, I'm
I bet you one of the same ones.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Cowboy fan.
I am too.
And we won those. We won those.
Exactly. And you can't take those away.
Yes.
So I get what you're saying about the past, but we in 2025 right now. New coach, new team, something different going on. All I'm saying is let's wait, let's put it on the field and see how it goes.
We gonna do that. The field gonna definitely.
I'm gonna say something, Mr. Peters, and you may disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Was your son there last year?
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Mr. Peters, you don't say nothing. I don't want you to say nothing. But the team, Prairie View's team, was more talented last year. The only difference is they have a much better coaching staff.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I sat through the non-discipline last year.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.